have spent a lot of time this term, not just learning how to take derivatives, but to learn what they tell us about functions. We have some function to start with. Some functions have derivatives. And when they do, those derivatives tell us a lot of things. On the face of it, the derivative tells us the slope of a tangent line. Or you can think of this as the rate of change of a function. The derivative tells us whether the function is increasing or decreasing. We can leverage that information to figure out whether the function has a local minimum or a local maximum. We could take a second derivative, and the second derivative tells us whether the function is concave up or concave down. Now, for the last couple weeks, for these last couple of weeks of class, we're going to change gears a little bit. With all of this information that's stored in the derivative, could I go backwards? Right? Think about all the information that we have. What's the value of the function? What's the derivative of the function? What's the second derivative of the function? Or maybe if you prefer, if I was looking at a particular function, let's say I've got a function f of t. T is the number of minutes after 5 o'clock. The function tells me how far away I am from my home. That's a very interesting function, at least to me. The function itself tells me my distance from home, but depending on context, it's the derivatives that are more interesting. The first derivative of this function tells me if I'm getting closer or farther to my home. The second derivative of this function tells me if I'm accelerating or decelerating, right? The rate of change in my rate of change. If my second derivative is positive, then my first derivative must be increasing. That means I've got my foot on the gas pedal. If my second derivative is negative, that means my first derivative is decreasing and, oh, I'm slowing down, red light. So the question I would like to pose is, can I forget about this original function, right? I'm going to care about the value of my function in some contexts, but how much can I reconstruct from this derivative instead? What if I didn't know the formula for my original function, but all I knew is the derivative of my function? I know the derivative is 2x plus 2. What could my original function possibly be? So if someone tells me what the derivative of a function is, can I work backwards and figure out what that function must have been to start with?